Apollo, an ancient god, fell madly in love with the nymph Daphne. His intense desire made him chase her relentlessly. Daphne, feeling the intense pressure of his pursuit, fled in fear. No matter how fast he ran, she always managed to stay just out of reach. This probably sounds familiar, as you've already experienced the game of run and chase when it comes to romantic relationships, or people you'd like to be in a relationship with. Long story short, desperate to escape, Daphne prayed to the gods for help and was transformed into a laurel tree, forever out of Apollo's grasp. Your crush likely won't transform into a tree, but the universe's laws will take care and put that person out of reach if you keep chasing them. What is it about love and connection that makes us chase it so eagerly? And why do we often feel such an intense desire to be loved? Imagine you're really into someone, but instead of letting things flow naturally, you start calling and texting them constantly, always wanting to know where they are and what they're doing. This kind of behavior can come off as needy and desperate. It can push the person away because they feel overwhelmed or pressured. This inevitably changes the dynamic of the relationship, making it unbalanced. Instead of being partners, one person becomes the chaser and the other the chased. It's natural for humans to want love and connection. We're social beings who thrive on relationships and emotional bonds. Our need for safety and love is rooted in an ancestral instinct. This magnetic pull towards it is encoded in our DNA, in a hard-to-define drive that ensures our survival and emotional security. It's an instinct that pushes us to seek connections, feeling deeply ingrained and almost difficult to resist. However, this need for love can sometimes turn into desperation. When we feel an overwhelming urge to be loved, we might start chasing others in ways that aren't healthy. Think about a time when you really admired someone. Maybe you were always trying to impress them, agreeing with everything they said, or changing your behavior to match what you thought they wanted. When you do this, you're putting them on a pedestal. You're treating them like a celebrity, and as the saying goes, if you treat them like a celebrity, they will treat you like a fan. This creates a dynamic where they see you as less than an equal and more of an admirer. If you always praise them excessively and never voice your own opinions, they might start taking you for granted. And this is important to note. If you tend to be the one putting in the most effort, they might not respect you as much because they don't see you as an equal partner, but as someone who idolizes them. Because how are you ever going to reach someone if you've put them high above you on a pedestal? This can lead to an unhealthy relationship where your needs and feelings are not valued, because the relationship began with you sacrificing your needs or warping them to fit into the views of this perfect person you've elevated and created in your mind. And that leads us to our next question. Can people sense that you're energetically chasing them? Is your desperation pushing them away? Go back to a time when you felt desperate for someone's attention. You might text them constantly, always trying to make plans or overly compliment them. These behaviors, though well-intentioned, can come off as needy and clingy. Desperation in love can be felt energetically, creating a push-pull dynamic that often drives people away. When you're desperate for someone's attention or affection, it radiates from you as an energy that others can sense, even if it's not overtly expressed. This concept is linked to both the quantum world of energy, which we'll discuss in a bit, and the nature of love, where energy and intentions significantly impact your relationships. Another common case is when you constantly seek reassurance or validation from the person you admire. This can manifest in asking repeatedly if they like you, or needing them to confirm their feelings often. This behavior signals insecurity and a lack of self-worth, which can be draining for the other person and make them want to pull away. In the quantum world, everything is energy, including our thoughts and emotions. When your energy is focused on desperation and lacking, you project that energy outward, creating a reality where those feelings are mirrored back to you. The more you chase energetically, the more elusive your desired person becomes. You'll begin to notice amazing changes as you shift your energy to self-love and confidence. You'll soon find that you create a more attractive and balanced aura, drawing people towards you naturally instead of pushing them away with desperation. Have you heard of the backward law? If your answer is no, then pay attention as we explain and reveal the connection of this basic law and how it powerfully impacts every area, including your love life on a daily basis. The backward law, popularized by philosopher Alan Watts, suggests that the more you pursue something, the more it eludes you. In the context of relationships and love, this means that the harder you try to make someone like you, the less likely it is to happen. This law speaks about the paradox that desperation and effort can push people away rather than draw them closer. Let's look at some common scenarios where trying too hard backfires. The first, constant messaging and attention. Bombarding someone with texts, calls, or attention can come off as needy and overwhelming. Instead of feeling flattered, the person may feel suffocated and pressured, leading them to distance themselves. The second most common case is changing yourself to please others. If you constantly change your interests, opinions, or behaviors to align with someone else's preferences, you lose your authenticity. People are naturally attracted to those who are genuine and self-assured. When you try too hard to fit someone else's mold, you become less attractive because you are not being true to yourself. The third most common is over-planning and control. Trying to control every aspect of a relationship, such as planning every date or conversation topic, can make interactions feel forced and unnatural. Relationships thrive on spontaneity and mutual effort. Over-planning can make the other person feel like they have no space to contribute or express themselves. Do not cringe for too long, for love makes us do foolish things. If you find yourself doing these things, unaware of how you were behaving, the good news is that you're not a tree stuck in the ground. You don't have to stay in this place forever. And so, we must ask ourselves, what if the love I'm desperately seeking is already within me? How would your life change if you fully embraced yourself? The master key to attracting love isn't about chasing it externally, but embracing it internally. This change in your energy affects how others see and interact with you, drawing them in without effort. To start building self-love and confidence, you can practice 4 simple things. The first, begin each day with positive affirmations. Statements like, "I'm worthy of love," or "I'm confident and attractive," help reprogram your mind and boost your self-esteem. It's about living as comfortably within yourself as possible. The second, make time for activities that nurture your body, mind, and soul. This could be anything from regular exercise or healthy eating to hobbies that bring you joy and relaxation. The third, learn to say no and set healthy boundaries. Respecting your own needs and limits show that you value yourself, which in turn earns respect from others. And lastly, acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. This builds a positive self-image and reinforces your belief in your abilities. When you focus on loving and accepting yourself, this energy is incredibly attractive and draws people towards you naturally, without the need for desperation or chasing. Someone once said, "Don't chase anyone. Those who truly appreciate and deserve you will walk with you and won't need to be chased." The natural need for human connection can be overwhelming. That is the beauty of love's folly. But when we lose ourselves in the magnetism of others, we intentionally turn our backs on ourselves. Love is meant to be harmonious. And when you begin to truly believe in the value you give to others and yourself, you will learn that love does not require you to chase. Like maddened Apollo, it will meet you at the door with a smile and a gesture to come in. See you soon, curious soul.